Hello, hi, and welcome. If this is your first video, my name is Caressa, and welcome to a bookshelf unhaul part 5. Today we are up to Cervantes, and we hope to get all the way through Clare. So it is slow going. 5 parts, and she's just up to CL? Yeah, that's my life. Either way, let's go ahead and get started over here with Don Quixote. I was a little eager to get straight into the video, but hi, how you guys doing? Do you want to check in with me in the comments? I just got back from board game night, so of course I am stellar. But yeah, Don Quixote. I want to keep Don Quixote, not least of all because it's also a ballet. I had a friend in high school who had a solo from the ballet Don Quixote, but I am definitely interested in reading this. I know some of the plot points, so this is one that I will want to read one day, and I might as well keep this copy. Okay, Summerland by Michael Chabon is basically a children's book that combines baseball with Native American folklore and also just lots of mythology of different kinds. It sounds really good, but I also don't see myself reaching for it. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and say maybe, just because even the bad reviews that I've been reading about this book kind of make me think I would enjoy it. And the comparisons to The Phantom Toll Booth, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and other things like that just makes me think, you know, maybe this is for me. Oh My Gods is by Tara Lynn Childs. It's basically Percy Jackson, but for teens. And it seems like very cute bubblegum literature. I almost said bubblegum pop, but I'm not sure that a book is bubblegum pop. The sentiment remains, however. There are some bad reviews. I mean, it's probably a 3 or 4 star, but I do see myself reaching for it. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and keep Oh My Gods, just because I love a good mythology story. The Forgive My Fins trilogy by Tara Lynn Childs. I have them all in paperback. I actually bought these books from Book Outlet quite a while ago, specifically made in order to buy these books. I have been meaning to get to them, but they are mermaid stories and they are one of my childhood best friend's favorite books. So I think I will go ahead and keep these and I will read them soon. And I know the shelf is going poorly. Because the next books I'm going to keep due. So I think the reason we're in a rut is like half of the books we've gone through so far from one author that I'm interested in. It's just going to be like that. Like when we get to Suzanne Collins, I'm keeping everything by her. Everything. Anyway, the point being Sweet Venom and Sweet Legacy. Sweet Legacy I think is the 3rd book, but Sweet Venom is the 1st book. I have read Sweet Venom. It's about triplet daughters of Medusa. I just read my review of Sweet Venom and it basically was just that it's kind of an establishing book, but I'm thoroughly excited about continuing this series. If I had the 2nd book, I probably would have already picked it up. I'm worried I'm being too kind, but the warrior hair for now is a maybe. I remember when this book entered the public consciousness, or at very least when it was popular around the elementary school where I went back in like 2005. I mean, people enjoyed this book. I'm seeing a lot of 3-star reviews, which, you know, a lot of glowing praises, but basically people are saying it's a 3-star book. The basic premise being you have someone who's the chosen one and they have warring factions, the Red Roses and the White Roses, I think, which has some historical significance. For now, it's a maybe, just because I haven't gotten rid of very many things in this book, so maybe my palette is not refined, but I can see myself reaching for this before I would reach for some other things. We're getting there though. We're gonna get rid of some books on this shelf, I promise. I'm smiling because we're gonna get rid of a book. This is No Passengers Beyond This Point by Jennifer Choldenko. Basically the premise is 3 kids find out they're losing their home and have to go live with their uncle. Once they get there, however, they all get clocks with different amounts of time on them. And they only have that much time to figure out how to not end up forever in this place. I do not want to spoil you if this is something that you are looking forward to. Basically what people are saying is they tried to do what The Last Battle did for Narnia in that you're not sure if this is heaven or hell or something in the middle. But I remember finding that concept very poignant when I read The Last Battle, and I do not need a rehash. And I cannot in good conscience keep a book where the majority of reviews are 2 stars and everyone saying it's confusing and nonsensical. So that's that. However, I am going to keep What We Found in the Sofa and How It Saved the World by Henry Clark. As you can see, I read a good starting portion of this. Okay, I read 48 pages, but it is nonsensical, it is random, it is middle grade, it is everything I love. It is really cute. There's something very unique to the junior literature audience that I think it's very hard to capture in more mature books. But there is something about the randomness, the fantastical, the fantasy in junior literature that is just chef kiss unparalleled. I'm not sure if it's because children's literature is so much more competitive than, say, young adult literature, but I love me a good children's book. Imperial Earth by Arthur C. Clarke. This is my grandfather's book. I'm going to keep it. Okay, here we have The Splendor Falls by Rosemary Clement Moore. This was a gift from someone back in middle school. On paper, it seems like something that I would have tore into voraciously. It's about a retired principal dancer who goes to live with her family in the South, uncovers some things. There's a love triangle, which of course everyone thought they were into love triangles in the age of the Hunger Games and Breaking Dawn and Lord Forbid the Mortal Instruments series. But a lot of people have described this book as creepy and gothic, and that it's kind of a ghost story. And to be honest with you, it's just not something I think I'm ever gonna pick up. I really want to say, just as a blanket statement, if you ever see me unhauling a book that you gave me, I treasured it and I really appreciated it. So even though I'm letting this one go without having read it, I'm just at a point in my life where I don't need to hang on to every sentimental thing that's been given to me. And it's time to move forward and find a new reader who will love it. Next we have The Third Magic by Molly Cochran. This is interesting. I read this in 2011. I gave it 4 stars. I love me a Arthurian tale. This one is the 3rd book in a series, and I do not remember it particularly standing out to me. So because I have read it, because it's the 3rd book in the series, it can go live somewhere else. Anyway, Dash and Lily's Book of Dares by Rachel Kahn and David Leviathan. This book is so cute. For the repressed bookworm in me that wants to meet someone through a moleskin notebook at the Strand, this is the book for me. It is so cute. I'm keeping it, and I am also keeping 12 Days of Dash and Lily, also by Rachel Cohn and David Leviathan. It's like a short story, although it's not so short. It is 234 pages, but it's like a companion sort of sequel to this, and I will read it. I think it's very cute. I'm keeping it. Here we have So Much Closer by Suzanne Colasanti. This is a romance. It's about a girl who is in love with a boy she has barely talked to and moves to New York to follow him, but like in a romance way, not in a stalker way. There's something to be said for this book. A lot of people find it very tender, the way that she discovers the one who is meant to be isn't exactly meant to be. I think at a certain point in my life, maybe this would have been a good book for me. I've read many a romance and occasionally elevated a crush to deity-like level, but as a 26-year-old who doesn't particularly enjoy romance, I think I'm gonna let this one go, and hopefully it will find someone in that preteen audience who needs to hear this. So that brings us up to the Cassandra Clare block of books. I'm gonna do something shocking, something revolutionary, something you've never heard of before. I'm gonna get rid of some of these Cassandra Clare books. Y'all know that I'm the girl who went through and formatted Cassandra Clare's fan fiction into book form so I could have it printed to put on my shelves. That's the level of super fan that I was. Here we have the Shadowhunters Codex as well as the Mortal Instruments Companion. I mean, as far as it goes, Cassandra Clare level, I've been there. I've done that. And listen, I'm keeping a majority of these books, but I'm also going to make some harsh cuts. Let's start with the unauthorized guide, the Mortal Instruments Companion. 203 is the mini biography of Cassandra Clare. I'd love to know if they put in there all her copyright scandals, because y'all know a shady bitch love to hear about it. Woo! Yeah! We got the fan fiction in here. Okay, I'm gonna keep the Mortal Instruments Companion because it's a third-party writing about the Mortal Instruments series. I love reading books talking about the mythology involved in books, and I think this is that. I love a good meta book. This is a meta book, so I'm going to keep that. But I think I'm going to get rid of the Shadowhunters Codex because it's by Cassandra Clare, and who cares? This is what happens when you let an author go too far, and I think we have really discovered in the exploration of the cursed child that sometimes you just need to stop. Anyway, I'm going to get rid of the Shadowhunters Codex. I don't see myself ever reading that. And here's the controversial decision. I've moved to this side to illustrate part 1 of my Cassandra Clare collection. So I could never get rid of my original trilogy. City of Bones and City of Glass, the hardcover edition, are signed. City of Glass paperback edition is my lender because people ask, and I don't like lending out my signed books. Anyway, I've said this before and I will say it again. The original trilogy have a special place in my heart. The 3 books that come after it are a sin. They're all firsts. I got them when they came out. And, you know, the thing is, I read them once. I'm never going to read them again. I don't want them to annex my original collection because they are so problematic. Real incest, real normalizing and forgiving abusers, many other things. And listen, I'm not saying implied incest is okay, because actually it's not. But I read these books when I was younger and I was kind of okay with it. So, you know, I can't say anything. I can't fix that. So long story short, I am going to get rid of 4, 5, and 6 of the Mortal Instruments series. I know that that is going to be controversial because I have spent a huge portion of my life involved in the series, but I don't want my future kids reading books on my shelves and thinking that this shit is okay. It's not. So they're exiting my house. They were literally just gathering dust here so they can find a home with some tween. When I was in middle school, I was like, it's better to throw away a copy of Twilight than to give it to a used bookstore, because literally you're just perpetrating more people reading these toxic books. But listen, I'm not in a place where I can just get rid of these books in the garbage. They're bad, but people are going to read them. It's not going to reach somebody who's new to the series, so I am going to donate them. I know. What's left down here is the rest of my Cassandra Clare collection. I have the Infernal Devices down here, and I love these books. The 3rd book in particular has made my favorites list because I have something about Karabachi. Then I have Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy. I want to read the short stories eventually, and I have not read them yet, so I'm gonna keep this. I also have the Bane Chronicles, which came before that. For a long time, these were only short stories, but they released them in hardback. What am I gonna do with the part of my brain that is Cassandra Clare? All that useless information is up there, and it's taking up prime real estate. And then I also have a signed copy of Lady Midnight, which I probably will read eventually. I am only getting rid of those 3. I didn't get this one signed in person. Don't worry. She just did a limited release of signed copies. So now all my Cassandra Clare books can stack to the tippity top of the shelf. And I'm gonna cheat and say that's the end of the shelf. I may have just moved some books down to a lower shelf, but whatever, eliminate or move. It's all part of the zeitgeist. No, but for real, even though I kept a lot of books on this shelf, I did get rid of 8, and they are thick boys. See? They're thick. Ah! I'm tempted to do another shelf because I think the next one is just gonna fly, but I'm gonna end it here. If you want to see the next shelf sooner rather than later, hit the like button and let me know down below if you are keeping your Cassandra Clare collection or if you've already gotten rid of it. Alright, I'll see you next time. Bye.